Well, hey, everyone. Excuse me. Good morning, and welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, from November 19th, 2025, I'll run through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc., etc. Hope everyone's been having a good week. Because, yeah, we're in the middle of the week now. It's Wednesday. My week's been I have a lot of stuff going on, um, unrelated to like games and Gundam and all that. But still good. Um, the weather's been really cool too this week, and by cool, not cool, like warm, but then like cool breeze. Yesterday, my youngest had this cross country track meet, and the weather was just so nice outside. It was like perfect. Like it wasn't hot, it wasn't cold. Like I couldn't feel the weather. It just felt good standing outside. That's rare for Texas. Actually, not really, but kind of. Anyway, so yeah, that was a good day. So there wasn't too much gaming that happened yesterday, but let's look at what I did. First of all, that actually happened this morning because I get up pretty early and then I was just surfing the news and, like I do for the show. And then there's this Cannon Dancer Osman game for $3 on the eShop. I'm like, what is Cannon Dancer Osman? I mean, the dancer's making me think, and the art's making me think Strider. And actually, I think that's what it is. It's basically a side-scrolling action platforming game produced by Mitchell Corp that was released as a coin-operated arcade game in 1996. Many ex-Capcom staff, including Koichi Yotsui, have worked on the original arcade version of Strider and designed its sequel, Osman. So I guess the main Strider guy also made this, like on the side. So it plays exactly like Strider, and it was made to be, coin-operated in an arcade cabinet, so it is hard as hell. But what's really cool is right now on Switch, you can get this for $2.99, normally $20, but $2.99 is like just the perfect price point for something like this. I mean, more than perfect, actually beyond perfect. You're practically getting it for free, I guess. But so what's cool is this game does what I love retro games doing as they're brought into modern times. It has an enhancements area where you can turn on certain things to make the game more modern and playable. But on the same time, it has a cheat section, so you can even turn on further things. And so this morning when I was playing, I got my ass kicked. The game's hard. I mean, these Strider arcade games are hard anyway. So I went back into the enhancements. I turned on almost everything, mainly the health, so that I can get further without dying. And it is fun actually to sit there, listen to the music, look at the big, chunky, amazing, beautiful pixel art, and just go through the game as intended, I guess, to see to the end, because I'm telling you, there's no way that I would actually spend my time to try to beat that game traditionally. And that kind of, so I wanted to bring this up. $2.99, awesome game that you can get on Switch. But that reminds me of this other little thing. So Castlevania Anniversary Collection, I was talking about this yesterday. I'm trying to beat it by legal means, to get the achievements. And the original Castlevania is just hard as hell. Like I was telling you guys, I was stuck at death. I beat death. I'm now at the last level, and it's just, I could tell what the game, it's interesting because if I look back to when I would be playing these games on the NES that were really hard, part of the reason I never got into gaming during the NES period was because sometimes it was all about the challenge. And don't get me wrong, I love the challenge. But if that's all it's about, I guess it's not as interesting. And that's why I guess Sonic on the Genesis and even the Mario games, like they have their challenge, but they also allow you to really immerse yourself in this game world. That's what I want. If a game is too hard and I only have a few minutes to spare here and there to try to beat something, I don't feel immersed in the atmosphere yet to really get me into the game to continue to play it. So the thing about Castlevania since I was growing up is, as hard as the NES games were and I never beat them, I still liked them and would play them just because I liked the atmosphere I was immersed in. And I would just remember by the early 90s, mid 90s, when I would ever play, the original Castlevania and NES, I could get past the first level or two, the bat boss or whatever, just because I had repeated those sections so many times. Now, let's say I did have an NES before or the Genesis, which I didn't because I didn't really care. And that's what I find weird about my taste in game. But anyway, if I did, I would have had to learn, or I would have changed my learning pattern of playing games to be like, oh, memorization. I'm not a memorization guy. I'm more of a muscle memory type of memorization guy. So as I'm going through a game, I will pick up how I feel and memorize. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But with Castlevania, it's like, okay, when you walk into this next room, that guy's gonna throw a bone. This guy's gonna jump. So and it's kind of like uh, it's interesting. Because if I memorized all the patterns in those games, I would get past them. But anyway, it's just interesting how games have evolved, and they've evolved with how our time is. Back in the day, less games to choose from, less things to do. Nowadays, there's so much to do. Anyway, also I jumped into SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. I think I just jumped in to get the 3,000 diamonds. I think that's it. Moon Diver. Yes, Moon Diver. Is that what I think? I remember that. Holy moly. And wow, that brings back Jim Killix. Thanks for bringing that up. Let's let this load. There were some interesting games I remember during the 360 period that would just be released on the 360. I think Microsoft was like trying to court the developers over, but okay, it's not opening up. Let's close this real quick. Moondiver, formerly known as Necro Machina, is a side-scrolling platforming video game developed by Field Plus, published by Square Enix. 2011. Yeah, that's about the time period where interesting indie games would drop. I'm gonna have to go back to this. Thanks for bringing it up again. Anyway, so that's it with what I've been playing. It really wasn't too much. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. No, I think that's about it. Yeah, because I know Apple Arcade doesn't track on here, and I didn't play it yesterday, but I did the day before jump into the Castlevania Grimoire of Souls, a Book of Souls. Grimoire of Souls, to get a book. A Grimoire is a book, but to get through some of that game. Okay. Let's jump into some news now. Let's see. Got some Moondiver, State of Decay, Hydrophobia just dropping with little to no fanfare and being great. There are so many good games that drop and no one ever talks about them. It's pretty crazy. This looked pretty cool. I remember this was like, an old school thing, and I guess they've got a new version out, but it is $49.99. Did I already open that? Yeah. So for $44.99, well, how many games is it? It's 2 games. And I remember this being funny because of the bodybuilder looking dudes. But $45? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Cross Current, good to see you. Jim Kelly said when Microsoft was really trying to court Japanese devs with the live store. Yeah, and I think they did an excellent job. There are so many good shmups, arcade-only shmups, Battle Garega, Don Pachi. There's so many shmups on the 360 that are actually backwards compatible to Xbox One. And that's thanks to, Microsoft trying to push that. So, okay. There's that. Let's see. Epic announces partnership to bring Unity games into Fortnite. We believe companies need to work together to build the open metaverse in a way that's interoperable, and fair. There's a lot of interesting things going on with this. We believe so what's very interesting is the fact that Epic Games, where they've built their ecosystem to have it where not only is it where you could develop in Unreal and then make games in Fortnite, but other creators can make things, and even companies, Disney, they have their Disney World in Fortnite. But the fact that they've got Unity as a part of this is pretty interesting, because it's almost like if you're a Unity dev, you don't necessarily need. See, this is the future that I'm hoping to see, where it's like development platforms aren't limited to a certain code base or certain whatever. I don't know what the terminology would be that for that exactly, but that's pretty interesting. So, yeah, just like the early days of the web, we believe that companies need to work together in order to build the open metaverse in a way that's interoperable and fair. So it's not just about having it where you could do cross development with different platforms, but what was interesting here is about the metaverse, that being the thing. It's almost like setting up companies so they're already in a situation where they can work together for, I don't know, there's so many things I feel like directions this can go. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Hey, Cross Current. So what kind of stuff do you like reacting to? Any of the news that comes out, or I'll play a brand new game every once in a while. Yeah. Jonas is on. Hey, Adam, we're 1 month away from Avatar: Fire and Ash, and is going to be the best movie yet. Maybe. A weird thing about me is I've never gotten into Avatar. I saw the first one in the theater. I saw the second one on streaming. I love James Cameron. I love his designs, but for some reason that series doesn't get me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But anyway, yeah, let's stay tuned for this metaverse thing. I like how they're positioning it more as a metaverse than really cross development. I don't know. I still think there's more to explore there. Okay, Pal World lead and Pocket Pair founder says Megabonk Dev is one of the game developers I respect the most, as the solo indie creator withdraws his roguelike hit from the Game Awards. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this. Megabonk. I have, and I was even thinking of buying it. It's super cheap, but when I saw the type of game it is, this is where like, oh, I've played my share of survival likes. I am done, or these roguelike survival likes, however you want to call them. But this just looks interesting. It's cool. It's almost like someone with a good artistic eye was like, let me take that and let me do this thing. Like the skeleton on a skateboard. It's amazing. So I haven't played it. And again, it's cheap. I could. So I guess what's interesting is, this took off, and from what it sounds like, the guy, I guess the game was going to be part of like the Breakthrough Indies on the Game Awards. Yeah, debut indie game category. And turns out Bucky isn't the only fan of Pocket Pair, as well, no, that's not what I meant. Okay, well, I'm trying to look at where he is one of them. I guess there's not too much more to this really, but it's just interesting that he has decided to remove the game from the debut. That makes him a baller, actually, when it comes to the Game Awards, the discussion around the games. It makes me appreciate this. I might want to buy it. I think I might want to buy it. Cross Current, gotcha. I had made 2 videos of best specific genre games released in 2025, if it would interest you. No worries. Oh, yeah, I would be curious. I'd love to check those out, especially Metroidvania. What are the 2 genres? And then Ultranos Avatar is pretty at the least. For me, the first was too redundant, while the second just did not engage me beyond the visuals. Yeah, like the visuals are insane, but it's like it's in this. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was thinking about this yesterday, how sometimes it's like a younger generation that ushers in new habits or new ways of doing things, but then a lot of technology is being created by old people with a lot of experience. So there is this through line between a young generation and emerging tech. Anyway, I use Avatar as an example because I feel like James Cameron is one of those directors that I would feel like would be coming out with something that resonates with me more than Avatar does. And Avatar seems to resonate with a younger audience. So maybe that's in the game plan. I don't know. Okay, yeah, that was Megabonk. Okay, don't miss out on one of this year's most exciting shoot 'em ups. I played this. This is Birdcage not too long ago on stream. It's out right now. I might need to buy it because I think, did I have it set up here? Let's see. I don't think I'm going to buy it right now, but I'll probably later today. $12.59. Megabonk is $9.99. I know what that type of game is. Birdcage has a demo. Plays like a shmup. A really good shmup, but for $12, I would buy it. So this kind of tells you my tastes with gaming. I'd rather spend 12 on the shmup than 10 on Megabonk, even though they're both excellent. Okay. So this is pretty cool, although I hate these ads. Like, dear God. It's like the ad is the whole thing. Oh, interesting. Is there a little button? Nope, can't close it. Okay, let's get to the main thing. This is great news for me. If you guys know, as among a lot of things in gaming, I like beat 'em ups. I like to break down the combat systems in beat 'em ups. The new Marvel Cosmic Invasion. No, not Surviving Mars, which is and remove ads. Oh my God. Okay. There's like 3 ads that are like taking up anything I can do on the screen. Um anyway, Cosmic Invasion made by Tribute Games that did the TMNT game, which I like it, but I felt like it was a step back in what modern beat 'em ups have been able to achieve in terms of combat mechanics. I did the demo and talked through playing Cosmic Invasion, and I explained how this is kind of a weak combat system. There's not much to it. And I would say maybe the fix for that is in the game is once it's released and then there's all of those different characters, then I guess the game has more of a gimmicky part to it when it comes to the replay value and not like built into the mechanics, if that makes sense. Anyway, because of that, I was like disappointed. Oh, I'm going to want this game anyway, and I'm going to want to buy it, but I'm going to be disappointed with it. But it's going to be on Game Pass. What a good move on Microsoft to put this on Game Pass. So now for sure I'm going to be playing it, and I won't necessarily feel as bad that I've bought a game that I knew I not sold on 100%, but I know I'm going to have fun with. It's a weird thing. Anyway, so this, yeah, I guess December. Let's see. It'll be available as a day one title on Game Pass when it launches December 1st. That's great. I cannot wait for December 1st. The real fix to Marvel Cosmic Invasion is adding Cyclops. He needs to be in it. Like I know I'm a huge Wolverine fan, but I think when it comes to X-Men, like the team, like Cyclops is my favorite team member. Wolverine is just one of my favorite, like out of the X-Men universe stuff. Because when it came to Marvel, I tend to just care about X-Men stuff mostly. Cross current. I had one on dungeon crawlers and one on roguelike deck builders. Okay, so that's interesting because the gaming landscape has changed quite a bit where you can have these very specific type of genres. I'll have to check that out. I think I may have accidentally put some Metroidvania games into the Dungeon Crawlers video. Yeah, I think there's nowadays, especially, there's a lot of crossover with genres. There really is. I'm seeing a lot of games being called Metroidvanias. There's a lot of people that say a game like Dead Cells is a Metroidvania, and I don't think so at all. But maybe there's something there. I don't want to ignore that. Cyclops is the X-Man. Yeah. My first Cyclops action figure was the man, it was early 90s. It was the Toy Biz. Was it Toy Biz? Where it was the blue and yellow, but he had the blue cap on his head. So he didn't have the hair yet. He was still a little skinnier, but it had the thing on the back to light up his optic blast. And it was a neighbor that got it for me. Okay. I think that's it actually for. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a game that I played a little bit of last year. But apparently it's a beat 'em up, but I think I played this before and you guys were like, that's a little weird for beat 'em up. And it's like, yeah, I know. But you know what? It's all about the gameplay. Maiden Cops. So Maiden Cops recently got a physical release. And it just reminded me that I haven't really, like when I first played this beat 'em up, I found it interesting, but I never really fully, what am I trying to say? I remember playing it, I found it interesting, but then I think I just fell off, which happens a lot. So let's get this to load. You know, each game it's different. Okay, here we go. I guess new game, although I'm. Oh, A slot. Okay. So mainly what I want to do with this is sort of, let's go through like the gameplay mechanics. And hey, Crosscurrent, with the video reactions, do you want me to post it on Discord or somewhere else? Oh, well, you know what? I do have a Blue Gamer Discord. Feel free to do that, or the comments of this video. Feel free to put that in there. Okay. Double dash to run. That's, although that's still weird. Hold on. The game volume is super low. That might just be how it is. Okay, just real quick. X. Okay, X. B is block. This is very similar to Fallen City that I was just playing recently. Or Double Dragon. Revive, which... Okay. Oh, what the? Alright. I guess that was when they grabbed me. Okay. So first I want to see if there's any combos with this instead of just... Okay, yeah, just slide into me, I guess. There's the jump hit. I want to see if... Okay. Okay, the more I'm like playing it, even though it seems like it has a little more you can do and the visuals are good, it could just be that it's not the tightest combat. Let's kind of see what these other moves. Okay, blah blah blah. Hold the skip. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that move I just did, it doesn't... Oh, there's something else I'm seeing. There's other moves that seem like... Okay, I don't know what that was. Okay, so I think I know why that I didn't play this much more, even though it has... So I would say this has a little more going on. Like, look at the common moves here, and then the grapple moves, and I'm sure there's a special list. This stuff is... There's a little more to it, but I want to say Marvel Cosmic Invasion just feels better because of tribute games and... Oh, what's the other? .emu. Or emu, however you want to say it. I think just because they have spent so long really refining gameplay, Maiden Cop still feels indie. It's not bad, but it's not the level, the feeling, the degree of the combat is not exactly what I would want. That looks a little complex for common moves. So, Crosscurrent, you bring up a good point. There's a very interesting thing going on with beat 'em ups, because sometimes beat 'em ups will have very little in terms of move sets to use, and sometimes beat 'em ups will have a whole lot. Now, within those two, where there's a lot to do and not a lot to do, some of them, like the tribute games, just feel very good and have a really good flow, really good level design, unlocks. But then some of these, and they're more indie beat 'em ups that do have a lot of moves, at the end of the day, it doesn't feel so tight, and you can kind of see where, okay, this needs some tweaking. I do feel that with Maiden Cops, and it might be a little unfair just because of how many different games I play. You know, I think the big disappointment, and I will say this will be the biggest disappointment of the year for me. Let me switch. Is definitely Double Dragon Revive, just because I was so excited about it. The previous one was so good. And just playing it, it had all the things there, but then the feel of it just wasn't there. Let's go to discussion real quick. So for one, there's not that much conversation around here, which is another disappointing thing. It hasn't even been 2 weeks. Wow, this game is pretty much dead. Man, that is disappointing. Let's go to the store page real quick. Yeah, even the reviews, I can't see I'm blocking it. Let me move. Wait. Interesting. It's interesting what will show up and will not show up. So on the screen, it's not even showing. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's mixed. All reviews are mixed at 105, and that's not a lot for a game like this. And yeah. And it's interesting because in the reviews, you see people say, I am pretty torn about this one. It's one of those things, man. A lot of games nowadays, like they're almost there and there's something holding them back. Yeah, so Autonomous, you may have been on vacation when this happened, but I ended up buying it, playing it, beating it. And it does, on its surface, when you're controlling it and moving, it is amazing. But then once you start going through the levels, it's like, what, it didn't all come together right, I guess is a good way to put it. So, let's see. Okay, you know what, guys? I think we're going to end it here. I don't really have too much more to talk about or play. I just wanted to check out Maiden Cops again, but that kind of reaffirmed that, yeah, there's a reason I wasn't playing it, not just because of the anime look, but it's really the combat system really wasn't everything, I prefer. But anyway, yeah, man, I'll be back tomorrow with some more, but until next time, have a good one. See y'all.